Yo, what's up, guys? It is your host, AG Samurai here, and welcome to the channel. We are here with another part 2 what if Naruto had Zeref's powers. And sorry if I sound like a little bit off, guys, which I usually do. Like, I've been apologizing a lot during these videos. But, I just don't really feel that good today. But hey, you guys get another video, and that's what's most important. So anyway, I really hope you guys do enjoy yourselves. Hope you guys been taking care of yourselves, and hopefully, I really hope things are just going positive for you guys. But besides all that, I know that you guys aren't here to hear all of this. You guys are here for the part. So why don't we go ahead and get started with it? Hopefully, you guys do enjoy. And either way, let's begin.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do?
Alright, so this story starts off pretty simple, as instantly we now cut to the present where we last left off. After Naruto left the village, Jiraiya, who now had no one else to bring with him, and now that he was he didn't even train Naruto in this timeline, so now that he had a bunch of free time, he had actually decided to search for Tsunade instantly. As instantly they realized that they're going to need a lot more resources since Konoha, even though they were able to beat Orochimaru, the damage that happened was so severe, and the fact that a lot of the good shinobi out there were injured, and heck, some of them were even killed, this is leaving Konoha with very little resources. So currently right now, they need as much strength they can get. As Jiraiya, who was currently jumping from tree branch to tree branch, as he was thinking about this in his mind, he would also begin to think about how he failed Minato and Kushina. Minato, I'm sorry. If I've been there sooner, if I actually looked after the kid, maybe things wouldn't be this way. But I promise I will get him back. Jiraiya would assure this. He will continue jumping, looking for Tsunade as he begins to go and actually literally using his spy network to also search out for Orochimaru. As we now turn our attention to Naruto. At this, our local Jinchuriki was currently enjoying himself. The peace that he had craved for so long was now achieved. Endless research, endless material, everything he wanted was now to himself. As while he was currently doing his research, his demonic creations were all over the place, picking up after him. Picking up after the rubble and the destruction of Uzugakure. While doing so, Naruto had also formed some clones as he ordered them to actually build him a cabin, or at least some type of home. And not only that, but Uzugakure was an amazing place to study. He had wanted to do so earlier on when it was the land of the waves, but unfortunately he had other things to take care of. But now that he was here, he could study more and more research. And now that he also had connections with Orochimaru, Naruto had limitless amount of things to do in his hands. So many interesting things. And just the thought of it brought happiness to him. As he was currently once again just in the middle of doing his research, however, this was something he would then begin to pick up on something. An annoyance, he would think. At this is when suddenly Naruto would then be bum rushed as multiple golden chains would sprout out trying to attack him. At this, as these golden chains were approaching though, this is when Naruto will look at this with interest. With some of the destroyed research here, he's been able to pick up on some certain things. And seeing this here, he's actually able to read up on it. The Uzumaki chains. Interesting. As he sees them approaching, however, he would easily block them with his dark magic, as it was nothing compared to them. And however, it also had a cool effect, as the chains seemingly just completely on contact will begin to lose power as they fall down. Damn it! A voice would then be heard as Naruto would in turn. At this, he would see it in the distance. Although she was trying to hide away, he could see her. A girl with red hair and glasses. At this, Naruto would look at her. Her clothes were pretty much just ragged. Just nothing more than clots at best. At this, Naruto would be looking at her with no gaze, no real empathy at all. As the girl was looking at him. Get away from here. At this, she'll be looking at Naruto as she had not noticed this boy's approach. She didn't even sense him. She had been away for only a little bit to go ahead and gather up supplies, but then she sees this random nobody at her home. If you guys don't know who this is, it's Karin. As she was there, she was looking at Naruto. Naruto will be looking at her until he decides to actually, analyze her features. Red hair, the chakra chains, definitely an Uzumaki. So I guess we're related, huh? You would think. As Naruto would look at Karin, who actually was now sensing the ominous energy that Naruto was emitting, was beginning to fear. Oh no, what did I do? At this, she actually now looked at Naruto in fear as she was now paralyzed. She couldn't move. At this, Naruto continued staring her down before completely ignoring her and walking back. So what if it was she family? He honestly didn't care. It was peace for him. As he sits down, he then goes ahead and says to her, "Leave, and don't return." At this, she'll look at Naruto surprised, and even though she was afraid, she'll then begin to get stubborn. What? This is my home. I'm not gonna leave. But at this, Naruto once again begins to emit this dark energy. Either you leave, or I make you. At this, Karin was now completely paralyzed in fear. She would look at Naruto as she literally sees her life flashing before her eyes. At this, seeing this, Karin actually begins to break down a little bit as she goes down to the ground. I can't leave. Hearing this, Naruto can do nothing but sigh. And why not? At this, she'll begin to actually explain about what happened here and how she just can't simply abandon her home. Even though it was nothing more than a bunch of rubble and destruction, it was her home. She can't just simply abandon it. And if she were to die, well, she would gladly do so here. As she looks at Naruto with determined yet fearful gaze, Naruto will be looking at her as he sighs, thinking about how annoying it is. Fine. You may stay here. However, don't bother me too much, alright? As soon as Naruto says this, he completely ignores her and goes back to doing his research. At this, Karin will look at him surprised as the ominous energy that Naruto was emitting just simply vanished. Heck, if she had not actually was like close to him and actually saw him release it, she wouldn't have guessed it was coming from him. At this, seeing that she was now free, she will go on and begin to walk around as she looks at her home. While doing so, she would actually see multiple individuals and creatures actually working. This, of course, caused her to get tense, but saying that they were not doing any harm, she decided to let it slide for now. And so, this was sort of the first time where Naruto's peace was interrupted, but not really. It was a very interesting development for him. As Naruto will be thinking this through as he continues on with his multiple amounts of research, he would slowly but surely begin to actually build and sort of bring back Uzugakure. Slowly, though. As we now turn our attention back to the Konoha group, over there in Konoha, things have been kind of hectic. Kakashi, well, the man was certainly not feeling good. After all, Sensei's son has completely, it's gone. He's gone. Kakashi wasn't there to protect them. His students, if he can even call them that, are now off to doing their own things. Sakura, well, she's too fed up with Sasuke currently, since due to the fact that the Uchiha had been completely just off of it. And due to this, Kakashi, he honestly had no idea what to do. Sensei, I wish you were here, Kakashi, you would think, as you look up into the sky. If you were here, you would probably tell me what to do. And what do I need to do? As he would think about this, he would also begin to think about his old teammates. This being Obito and Rin. Now, Kakashi, might mind you, he is someone who legit had gone through multiple amounts of bullcrap through the years. Now, this was just nothing more than the cherry on top of it. And although he was pretty upset and angry, he realized that he can't hold it back any longer. If he doesn't do something now, things will continue to go down even further. I can't fail again. At this, Kakashi would look at it as he then realized that Naruto is still alive. There is still a chance. And he wants that chance. He needs to get stronger. But he cannot only be the only one. He wants to make sure that none of his team and no one that he knew was going to leave him again. And due to that, he needs to be strong. And they all need to be strong. With this thing, Kakashi then turns around as with a new step of motivation, he decides that it was about time Team 7 actually took things seriously. Now, moving on, before you guys start questioning, like, why is Kakashi over oppressed? Because you gotta remember, Kakashi knows that Naruto is the fourth son, so, I mean, it kind of makes sense exactly why, he would be kind of upset. Besides, Naruto is still alive, so I could see it as it being motivation for Kakashi to try better. But then again, it's mostly my opinion on this one. So moving on. At this, we now turn our attention once again back to Jiraiya as he finally had gone to the area where Tsunade was. Not much really changes here as Jiraiya would of course try talking to Tsunade, and Tsunade would just tell him to leave, as she personally did not care what the Hokage had to say. She would still insult him and everything, Jiraiya would have let it slide. However, he would then look at her with a very disappointed gaze. Disappointed in his teammate, of course. However, as this was happening, we would then turn our attention to Orochimaru. With Snake Sanin was upset. His goal to finish off Konoha was unsuccessful. It doesn't matter. As I am currently, I probably stand no chance. However, as Orochimaru was now looking down, he would then see, as in a containment nearby, the Sharingan eyes were shown. First things first, I would learn how to harness this power of the Sharingan. And then, as his eyes didn't think about Naruto, he would then have an excited look on his face. And then I'll go after you, Naruto. I have to admit, I usually stick my head out of these businesses, but your power, it's almost as if it was addictive itself. Orochimaru, he had sensed the very power of death just rolling off of Naruto. He didn't know what it was, but he knew that he desired it. After all, how could you just simply ignore the power that you have no idea even existed? The temptation was too much. As Orochimaru would think this, he would then turn to Kabuto, as he would tell him to actually start setting up chambers. After all, he was gonna make the perfect vessel. When he did, he was gonna betray Naruto when he got the chance. So after all that being said, guys, there was not really much else to really do except have a time skip. Now, after this, Tsunade would eventually end up returning back to the village. And after this, we're just going to go straight into the time skip here because Naruto is now out of the village. There's no point at all for us to go ahead and continue to be like, oh, this happens, this happened. No, we're just going to move towards the future. So we're now moving towards the time skip. At this, the next following years will go by in a flash. You see, things have completely changed for Konoha. Now that Tsunade had returned back with Jiraiya, and eventually after doing so, she would actually eventually end up getting the Hokage position. Hiruzen would eventually begin to go down to old age, and him being no longer to keep up anymore would eventually have to simmer down. He stepped down the role and gave the role to Tsunade. Although Tsunade was extremely reluctant and due to the fact that she didn't have like the Naruto talk no jutsu talk or anything like that, she wasn't really up to the tune of the job of Hokage. So due to this, she was mostly like very tense and cold about it. But you know Jiraiya, he's gonna stick by her either way. As for Jiraiya, he's been relentless as well. At this, his spy network, even though they have been getting more and more signs of Orochimaru, such as his bases and everything, they have not been able to truly track him down. This, of course, frustrated the Toad signing, but he didn't give up. He needed to find Naruto. He needed to make up for a lot of things, and he would be damned if he would allow Naruto to be taken away by that snake bastard. And as for Team 7, Kakashi, he kept good on his promise, finally, as he actually worked the team to the bone. He was still lazy. He still read his Icha, but he trained them hard. He trained them in chakra affinity, and even though Sakura was still getting the tutelage from Tsunade, as Sakura, personally, she just felt kind of useless about the whole events. And after Naruto just completely got taken away, it made her realize just how pathetic she really was. And although she was not going to claim that she was close to Naruto or anything, she still legit had a care for Team 7 in general. So due to this, she was quite determined to get the team back. As for Sasuke, he honestly had been completely thrown into training. Due to the fact that he didn't get the curse mark from Orochimaru, which is also a very big factor. But also since the fact that Kakashi's taking the training seriously now, he isn't doubting Konoha as much. He's learning quite fast, and honestly, I would say he's nearly as strong as he was in canon, although slightly below, considering the fact that he didn't get the curse mark, number one. Let's see. Not all his jutsus are as powerful as they were. In fact, his strongest jutsu, which is the Shidori, had been sort of evolved into the Kirin. I'm still going to give him that, but there's going to be a difference in this one. Because I would say Sasuke in the actual canon, he had both versatility and power. And this Sasuke, he is more focused on versatility, but also has quite a bit of power to back it up. So yeah, Sasuke is kind of a jack of all trades. But we already know this is all you guys focus on. We're focused on our Jinchuriki here, and let's go ahead and turn to him. Calmly sitting down as he was in his office with the multiple piles of research all around him, Naruto would be there as he was currently studying up on something else interesting that he got from none other than, well, the Hidden Mist Village. At this, however, this was something he would then hear a knocking at his door as he would then sigh. Enter. At this, entering into the door, you would then see Karin. However, she had completely just matured, as she was now similar to how she was during the time when Sasuke and them made like a team. At this, she would then walk in and she looks at him. Are you really going to stay cooped up in here again? You need to go out there, enjoy your life. At this, Naruto just looks at her with an annoyed look. If you're here to bug me, then you may leave. I'll gladly show you out, in fact. At this, Karin rolls her eyes, completely ignoring Naruto's threats. You see, after having been here for a couple of years, as the time skip has been a couple of years now, Naruto had completely matured, as at this point, he was 15 years old. Well, no, he was 16 years old, sorry. And by this point, Naruto legit had gone exponentially powerful. In fact, if Karin were to guess, Naruto was definitely gotta be the strongest person that she had ever met in her life. However, as they went ahead and bathed there, Karin had slowly but surely begun to interact with Naruto, as literally her Uzumaki DNA. They're stubborn. So due to this, she was actually, even though Naruto was very persistent on being alone, she'll go ahead, talk to him. Although she did know like there were limits to how much Naruto can take, she knew eventually that over time, even though he may go ahead and act all intimidating, there's just too much that he just doesn't care about to really do any action. For example, if he were to go around not like threatening you or something, he wouldn't really do it because number one, you're not really worth his time, and number two, he really just doesn't care. He just does it so you can leave him alone. So at this, over time, Karin decides as she looks at him. I'm still quite impressed though, to think someone so cold and calculative could actually bring back life into this once broken village. As she would then turn around, the Uzugakure had seemed to prosper. At this, she would look outside, she would see some of the buildings had been restored to how they were. In fact, some of them have even advanced. At this, Naruto does nothing more but ignores as she continues looking. As this one suddenly, they'll then begin to see as outside, we will see multiple people begin walking around. Now, before you guys start thinking like, wait a minute, did Naruto invite these people in? No, they just inserted themselves in. Naruto doesn't even know how he did it, but during the few years that he was there while he was doing his research, eventually there was times where he did have to go ahead and search for information. He's Naruto. He's of course going to try doing something that interests him. During his many exploits throughout the journeys to collecting information, he had been stumbling upon multiple endangered villages, villages that are literally on the verge of collapsing. Now, due to this, Naruto of course ignores them, however, but due to the fact that each one of these villages actually holds at least some decent information, Naruto of course ends up getting interested and ends up making a deal. Due to this, slowly but surely, Naruto made deal with multiple small villages, to the point where now many villagers that had lived in the small village that was collapsing were now moving to Uzugakure. The only thing that Naruto had to agree on was that they leave him alone, don't touch his research, and be mindful about being annoying. And of course, due to this, it was kind of easy to agree to this agreement. So with that being said, Naruto had completely unknowingly, he had made a miniature village. As Naruto was currently once again just reading on his research alone, he'll look at Karin once again. Can you believe? At this, she'll go ahead and nod as she laughs, telling Naruto that even though he can act all tough as he wants, she already knows that he probably planned for this. But Naruto just shakes his head and ignores her. As after that, Karin would then walk out of his office with the closing of the door, as Naruto would sigh. Alright, time for testing. At this, he would then walk inside. He would then begin to walk out of his home as he then enters into a secret chamber. At this, Naruto, since his effects have been extremely destructive and everything, he had actually created an underground bunker. Due to the fact that Naruto had learned Fuinjutsu, and I mean very advanced ones, he of course needed somewhere to test them all. So why other than an entire training ground for himself? As Naruto would walk in, he would then see that some of his demonic guards were there guarding it. open it. At this, they will nod their head, listening to Naruto still, as due to the fact that Naruto's magic got stronger, they also had gotten increased power-ups. As after letting Naruto gain entry, he wouldn't walk inside, as inside this chamber was none other than, well, it was a training ground, but also something else. As Naruto was walking, he would then enter inside, as he would then open up a small little vault that was nearby. At this, inside here was a very complex seal arrangement. And inside this seal, it was none other than a way to hide the very presence of Uzugakure. Over time, Naruto began to realize as smaller and more people begin to join his village, as more and more people begin to join his home, and the more and more times things got more annoying, this ended up getting unwanted attention. Bandits would sometimes appear trying to go ahead and threaten the people, take away everything. Rogue shinobi have entered trying to go ahead and threaten him. He of course disposed of them easily, stealing any information that they had, or anything that he thought was interesting. But after so many times, Naruto was kind of annoyed with this, so he created an advanced seal. It would hide the very presence of Uzugakure. And it was not the only thing. The seal had a way to the point where Naruto was literally able to transfer his home with them. The whole entire Uzugakure, he was able to go ahead and learn how to do it by copying off and making a better version of the fourth Hokage's technique. So with that, Naruto would be looking at the seal, making sure everything was good, as he decides to add a little bit more of an alignment to it. At this, as he was enjoying himself, taking the research, he can finally say, although his piece has been slightly different, although Naruto really doesn't give a damn about most of the people here, he does have to say it's quite enjoyable. After all, he did achieve his piece. And after all, he had connections from multiple sides. With connections from all fronts, and having multiple connections, and having almost unendless amount of research and information, Naruto is truly living his life of peace. With some bumps here and there, but heck, it was peace nonetheless. As Naruto was adding another alignment into it, he would then make a barrier for the entire village, just in case for attacks. Because in a shinobi world, you're obviously gonna get attacked one way or another. And if someone were to ever find out about this Uzugakure or its return, supposedly, then he already knew that it was just gonna sprout out a bunch of trouble. But there was one thing he was grateful of. It was the fact that he learned a bunch of advanced Funjutsu techniques just from being here. As Naruto was enjoying all this, we would then finally see him once again smile, which is still a very rare occurrence, but you would see it sometimes more frequently compared to him never doing it before. The time skip has just occurred. What more is going to happen? What future improvements are going to happen? What do you guys want to happen? Guys, it is your host, Seishi Samurai here, and your boy is going to be ending this part of this What If. I'm so sorry, guys, if you guys wanted a 30-minute part or make it longer, but the thing is, guys, there's one problem. Your boy is exhausted. I'm kid you not. I tried to make this a 30-minute What If, but the thing is, I'm having a massive headache right now. I don't know why. At first, it was small, but, as soon as, at the end of the recording, it got so bad to the point where I legit am, holding my head in pain right now. Ugh. It's probably because of the fact I've been stressed these past few days. Guys, don't worry. I'm just going to walk it off, probably, drink some tea or something, relax, and don't worry. Tomorrow, you guys will get another part for another What If, so don't worry. But besides that, guys, thank you all so much for your support. You guys have been amazing with it. And hopefully, you guys will continue to support me in my mediocrity. So, besides that, guys, it is your friendly neighborhood Seiji Samurai. And your boy is going to go off to relax and get off this headache real quick. See ya in the next What If. Peace.